Tom.
And I'm Molly.
Welcome to Forensic Gameology, hosted by ForensicGameology.com.
Reviews for science.
In 7 minutes or less.
Grimoire. You play as wizards who pick spells from their book or their grimoire. And you start off with, I believe you start off with six spells. You start off with 6 spells that you can choose from. There are more in this book, but you can only choose from the first 6. And everyone secretly chooses one that they're going to do. And then do it. And then at the same time you reveal, Tom chose 1, I chose 2. And then so Tom would go first, and I would go second. And then if there were more people, you'd go in ascending/descending order. I don't know. You start at
Ascending.
1 to 4. Is it ascending?
I'm going to say that now with total confidence.
Total confidence. Perfect.
But I don't know for sure.
Yeah. Well, no one does, because those are weird words that are never understood. So if 2 people say the same number, they go at the very end. So Tom and I had both picked 2, and someone else had picked 3. They would go first, and then Tom and I would both go last, depending on what order we were last turn. And so we figured that out. So you don't want to pick the same thing as other people, or you do, and you want to block them, whatever it is. So then you pick up a card here, put it in your little tableau, if you will, and it's going to be a treasure or a character, possibly. And then whoever gets to 10 first ends the game, and then you count up your VP. And that is how you play. And then every turn, you move up in what number of spells you can go to, and then you'll soon be playing with the whole book for a few rounds. And then that is the game. Simplicity versus complexity.
This is a pretty short rule book, looking at 7 pages with a little bit of additional information about spells. So it's not like you have to read that to get through the rule book. But even then, I felt like we went to the rule book every so often for different cards.
Right.
Because they're unique. Some of them will say, like, this guy's the prince, this one is the king. So I assume, if I remember correctly, there's also the queen and the princess. And there's, like an assassin or a thief and whatnot. And for the prince, it'll say, when you total your victory points, add +3 to the victory point of this card for every 5 companions in your territory, including this card. And so you can get more points. But there is some with a little bit of a... we questioned whether or not we were playing it correctly. So I think this game is simple, but you can leave with some questions that the rulebook does not answer. And thus, it's a tiny bit complex, but nothing to worry over.
Yeah, I think this game is pretty simple. I pretty much explained how to play with a few. You have to know a few more things, but pretty much that's how you play. So it's a pretty simple game. There are some clarifications of, like Tom said, some card clarifications, and I think some timing clarifications, but pretty simple. Luck versus strategy.
Well, these cards are shuffled and they're randomly put out. Some of them are put out face down, and you can't know what those are without a special power. Then if you go for these item cards, some of them are just junk. Like, that's what they say. Like, this guy's title is junk. But with junk, put this card face down in your territory. The player or players with the most junk item cards at the end of the game gets an additional 5 VP. You just can't know what other people have, versus if you're going to even draw cards that'll help you at all. Because we've got this stuff that says bronze sword, and that gives you an additional point. But then there are other things that give you special powers. You can discard them to do something, like look at a face-down card, or choose a card from the discard pile, or whatever. There's things you can do. So it is lucky. It's just you can't get past the luck. However, there's a lot of strategy as to what spell you're going to pick, because that determines the entire game. That player order matters so much to getting that coveted companion or that coveted gold piece. And if you can manipulate that turn order in some way, game over.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of luck in this game. There's also a lot of strategy. So there's things that flip turn order. So even if you plan to go first, you end up going last. And so that you might think that's lucky, but that's someone else choosing and strategizing. And so if you try to plan for that, I mean, there's so much strategy and craziness that goes into the metagame of what are they going to choose? I just have the metagame, but that is the game, like Tom said. And so what are they going to choose? What am I going to choose? How am I going to counter? I really need to do this, but I think this is going to happen, so I have to do this thing. So I think it's fun, and I'm jumping in fun versus boring, but I think that helps the strategy of the game and helps you kind of mitigate that luck. Because you can look at the upside-down card, things like that. Jumping right into then fun versus boring, that is one of the reasons I find it fun. I find trying to figure out what spell to do and how to get that spell to be done and in the order that I want to do it in. And so I think that is a fun part of the game. Okay, so I want to do this attack, but someone could just easily just block it, and I can't do anything my turn, but maybe it'll give me turn order unless someone else chose a 3. So there's so much, or I want to make sure I protect myself no matter what. I don't really get to do anything else. So I find it to be fun, and that you're kind of tableauing, you're kind of building up an engine of sorts. Generally, it's an engine of VP points, how you're going to get VP. And so I think that's fun too.
Yeah, this is a fun game. It can be infuriating, though, because I pick a really low number spell trying to just get down in that turn order, and somebody picks Time Stop. It's an 11. It says reverse the order of the players by swapping their order tokens. Man alive. And I used that a lot. I used that a lot the last game we played, and it constantly worked for me and against everyone else, and you could just see the rage. It is fun. I like picking, the head game, the mind game of picking which spell. I don't think there's that much downtime, and yet I still don't play this that often.
It's not an exciting game?
Must be, because it is fun. I enjoy myself when I play it, but it's almost never suggest it. I would say on the Board Game Geek rating scale, I would go with a 6.
Same, I would go with a 6.
You want to play with me? I'll play it. I'm not going to say no, but I just don't feel like suggesting it. Just don't.
Maybe it's just too random. Maybe it's just it feels like too much of a take that game when you flip it, even though it's totally not necessarily take that. I'm not taking it against you specifically.
No, there's take that stuff. You can steal people's VP.
And I think maybe that's why I don't. It's not on the top of my list. Grimoire, we present the evidence.
You be the judge.